Hello friends, welcome to tutoringcluster.com. So this is part 2 from the series SSCJ previous year question. So we have already solved from question number 1 to 20, and now in this video we will start with 21. So question number 21, the deformation per unit length in the direction of force is known as. Okay, so we know that linear strain, okay, or longitudinal strain, which is equal to what? Delta L by L. Okay, and lateral strain is what? Delta B upon B, or it can be delta D upon D. Okay, so basically deformation per unit length in the direction of force. Okay, in the direction of force. It is called as what? Linear strain. Okay, is it right? Okay. So let us see next question. That is question number 22. In a tensile test of a specimen, so tensile test is performed, the ratio of maximum load to the original cross section area of the test piece is called as ultimate stress, C stress, breaking stress, yield stress. Okay, so we know the stress strain diagram and we know the maximum load to that of original cross section area is what? It is nothing but ultimate stress. Okay, so it is a maximum stress, ultimate. Okay, next. Question number 23. A steel bar is fixed at both the end. If the bar is heated, it will develop. Okay, see here, there is one steel bar. Okay, and this steel bar is fixed at both the end. It is fixed at both the end. Okay, it's a steel bar. Now, when you are going to heat this, let's say by a temperature T0 degree Celsius. So T0 is a rise in temperature. Then what will happen? As it's a metal, okay, it's a metallic part. So it will try to expand. It will try to expand. That means this will try to expand. But as it is fixed at both the end, what will happen? The stress is what? It's a resistive force. So this is a direction of resistive force. And it is going towards the center. So it will be of which nature? It will be of compressive in nature. So whenever you are going to hit a steel bar which is fixed at both ends, there will be compressive stresses. Okay, next. So hope you are getting it and hope you are finding this series useful. Next, the value of Poisson's ratio is always less than. Okay, so you have to remember that the value of Poisson's ratio, it will lie between 0 to modulus of half. Okay, so basically it is always less than what? It is always less than 0.5. It is always less than what? 0.5. Okay, next. And we have also seen the different values of Poisson's ratio. For example, Poisson's ratio for rubber. What is Poisson's ratio for rubber? It is around 0.50. Okay, then we have seen Poisson's ratio for steel. So you must know at least 2 to 3 values of Poisson's ratio. Okay, so that the concept will be clear to you. And we have also seen the definition. What is Poisson's ratio? it is lateral strain to that of longitudinal strain. Okay, next question number 25. The stress due to change in temperature developed in a bar depends upon. Okay, so what is the formula to calculate a stress due to temperature rise? Okay, we know epsilon, it is what? Alpha delta T. And what will be stress due to temperature? It will be E into epsilon, which is equal to E into alpha delta T. Right, so this is what the formula to calculate stress due to change in temperature. Okay, where delta T, it is a change in temperature. Alpha is what? It is coefficient of thermal expansion. E is what? Young's modulus. Okay, so let us see the option. It depends on what coefficient of thermal expansion. Yes. Then thermal conductivity. No, it is not in formula. Density. No. Poisson's ratio. No. So correct answer will be option number A. Okay. So please remember these two formula. These are important one. Next. Question number 26. For a material with Poisson's ratio, okay, the ratio of modulus of rigidity, that is G, to that of modulus of elasticity. That means what you have to calculate? You have to calculate G by E. Okay, in the last video also we have seen a relationship between different material constant. Okay, and one such relationship is E is equal to 2G in bracket 1 plus mu, which is equal to 2G in bracket 1 plus, what is the value of mu? Poisson's ratio 0.25, which is equal to 2G in bracket 1.25, which is equal to how much it will be? It will be 2.5. Therefore, okay, 2.5 G. Therefore, what is the value of G upon E? It will be 1 upon 2.5. So what is 1 upon 2.5? It is 0.4. Okay, so the correct answer will be A. Okay, so please remember all the relationship between different material constant. Okay, direct formula based question will be there, or such type of simple numerical can be asked, right? Next, question number 27. If equal and opposite forces, applied to a body tend to elongate it, then the stress produced is. So it's a very simple question. So there is a body and there are two equal and opposite forces which is trying to what? Which is trying to elongate it. That means there will be increase in length and there will be decrease in diameter of a body. So it is going away from the center. Okay, so basically it will be of which nature? It will be of tensile nature. Okay, for example, let's say it is given that there are two equal and opposite forces which is trying to compress the body. Then in this case it will be of which nature? It will be of compressive nature. Here it will be of tensile nature. Okay, stress will be of tensile nature, right? So hope both the concepts are clear. Next, let us see question number 28. Poisson's ratio is defined as. Okay, so we have seen that it is a lateral strain to that of longitudinal strain. So correct answer will be C. Next, question number 29. The diameter of core of circular section is given as. So what is formula? Diameter of core of circular section, it will be how much? It will be D by 4. It will be what? D by 4. Next, 30. In a composite bar, the resultant strain produced will be. Okay, so basically in a composite bar, the resultant strain produced will be same as that of the strain produced in each bar. Is it right? See, what is composite bar? Basically, composite bar means what? Let's say you are having a two bar. Okay, let's say one is made up of copper. Okay, and another, let's say it is made up of steel. Okay, it's an example of what? Composite. Composite means made up of two different material, right? So in such composite bar, the resultant strain, it will be same as that of the strain produced in each bar. Okay, so correct answer will be option number A. Same as strain produced in each bar, right? Next. Question number 31. It's again a very simple. Already we have seen it's a relationship between different material constant, that is E, G and K. So we know that. Okay, again we will revise. E is equal to what? 2G in bracket 1 plus mu. Next, E is equal to 3K in bracket 1 minus 2 mu. Right? Next relation, E is equal to 9 kg upon 3K plus G. So just check which will be the correct option. 3K plus G. I think option number C. 9 kg upon 3K plus G. Okay. So again I am repeating, please remember all these three relations. A very important one. Next, you will find plenty of time SSC, not in SSCJ only, even in state competitive exam, you will find a question based on the relationship between different material constants, right? Next, let us see question number 32. Volumetric strain. So it's a question based on volumetric strain of a rectangular body subjected to axial force, in terms of linear strain E and Poisson's ratio mu is equal to. Okay. So what is volumetric strain? Change in volume to that of original volume, right? And in terms of stress, sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z upon E in bracket 1 minus 2 mu. So this relation we know. So from this also you can directly conclude 1 minus 2 mu. So it will be option number B. So, but we will see further. Now it's an axial force. What condition is given? It's an axial force. If it is axial force, can I write sigma y is equal to 0 and sigma z is equal to 0? Right. So what will be the relation further? So this equation, it will reduce to what? Epsilon v is equal to sigma upon E in bracket 1 minus 2 mu. Is it right? Right. Now, what is sigma upon E? Epsilon V is equal to sigma upon E is nothing but what? Stress upon Young's modulus. It is what? Strain into 1 minus 2 mu. So, in the given problem, it is denoted by E. So, we will write in terms of E. Strain. They have written this strain. They have used E. Right? So, correct answer will be B. Okay, so I'm writing all these steps so that it will be very clear to you, right? Next, let us see next question, that is question number 32, which is asked in SSC JEE 2007. A very good example, a bending moment diagram for a simply supported beam with load at midspan is. Okay, so see here. So there is a simply supported beam. let us draw first simply supported beam. This simply supported beam, it is carrying a load at midspan. So this is the load W, right? Okay. So can you calculate the reaction first? What will be the reaction at the support? If this is W, this will be W by 2, this will be W by 2. Okay. Now, how you will construct SFD? Okay. So we'll start from this. It is going W by 2. It is going up by W by 2. Then there is no loading here. There is no loading. So it will be of straight line. Then at midspan, it will go down by W. Again, from this to this, there is no loading. It will be linear. And again, it will be of W by 2. So this will be your SFD. This will be your SFD. Okay. So this will be of positive. This will be of negative nature. Okay. And what is the magnitude? This is W by 2 and this is W by 2. But they have asked you what? Bending moment. So let us construct the bending moment. Okay. Now, bending moment at the support, it will be 0, right? It will be what? 0. So here it will be of 0 and here it will be 0, right? Now, what will bending moment at this point at midspan? Okay, so bending moment at midpoint, it will be equal to, let us see to the left hand side. So left hand side, what is the load? See here at this point, left hand side, what is the load? W by 2. It is going up, so it will be positive. W by 2 into L by 2. So it will be WL by 4. Okay, so let's say this magnitude is what? This magnitude is what? WL by 4. WL by 4. Now, see how to construct BMT. This line, it is of degree how much? It is of 0 degree. This line, it is of order what? 0. So you have to add 1. So your bending moment, it will be linear. It will be of degree 1. Okay, it's a linear line. It's a line. So y is equal to mx. So degree is what here? 1. Okay, so what is the shape of bending moment? What is the shape of bending moment diagram? It's a triangle. It's a triangle. Is it right? Is it clear to you? Okay. So even though bending moment is asked first, but from first loading, you have to draw first SFD, that is shear force diagram, and then you have to construct bending moment diagram. Okay. Next. So hope this question is clear and a very good example. Next. 34. At the point of contraflexure, what are the options? Shear force changes its behavior. Okay. Bending moment changes its behavior. Shear force is maximum. Shear force is minimum. So what is happening at the point of contraflexure? At point of contraflexure, bending moment changes its sign. Bending moment changes its sign. For example, suppose you are getting such type of bending moment. So suppose this is a bending moment diagram. So this is what? Positive, it is negative. So it is going from positive to negative. That means it is changing its behavior. See here. Here it is positive bending moment. Here it is becoming 0 and then it is becoming negative. So it is changing its behavior either from positive to negative or it can be from negative to positive, right? So at point of contraflexure, bending moment changes its behavior. Okay, next. Let us see question number 35. It is asked in SSCJ 2009 for a simply supported beam having load at center, the bending moment will be. So just now we have drawn, just now we have solved how you are getting a triangular shape, and it is 0 at the support and it is maximum at the center. It is maximum at the center, right? Bending moment. So just now we have seen the calculations. So it will be what? Minimum at the support. It will be minimum at the support. Next, the shear force at certain section of beam. The shear force at certain section of beam is stated to be 0. The bending moment at that section will be. Okay, see here, dm upon dx gives you what? Shear force. And df upon dx will give you what? Loading. Now what they have asked, shear force at certain section of beam is stated to be 0. F is equal to 0. Can we say, which implies dm by dx is equal to 0? And when the derivative will be 0, at that time bending moment, it will be either maximum or minimum. Is it right? So correct answer will be C. Okay, when the derivative will be 0, when this value, for example, see, it is like that, dy upon dx, when it will be 0, at that time y will have either maximum or minimum value. Okay, so it is a property of what? Partial derivative. Next, question number 37. So a cantilever beam is given to you which carries a load at the end, and you have to calculate a strain energy in the beam. Okay, so what is the formula? Strain energy in the beam. Okay, what is the formula to calculate strain energy in the beam? Strain energy in beam, U integration of 0 to L m square dx upon 2e I, right? So suppose I am considering this section which is at a distance of x. So what will be movement? Movement will be minus p into x. So this relation, it will be what? U is equal to integration of 0 to L minus px bracket square into dx upon 2e I. So what you will get? P into x cube upon 3 upon 2ei, limit varies from 0 to L. So what you will get? You will get P L cube upon 6ei, right? Sorry, it is what? Px square, right? So it will be P square everywhere. Okay, so what will be the correct answer? Correct answer will be option number D. Okay, so you have to remember this formula, very important. Next, so you may get maybe simply supported beam, or there may be a uniformly distributed load and you have to calculate a strain energy. So different variations are possible in such type of example. Okay, next, question number 38. A simply supported beam carries a uniformly distributed load W kgf per unit length over the whole span L, the shear force at the center. So let us draw first simply supported beam. So this simply supported beam, it is carrying a uniformly distributed load L, this is W, right? So this is the given problem. So let us first find out the reaction. This is a very basic step, first step you have to take. Okay, so this is what W kgf per unit length. So what is total load? Total load will be W into L. So this W, it is spread over what? Length L. So it will be WL, which will be acting at the center. So what will be this? What will be reaction at the support? WL by 2, WL by 2. Right? Now we have to calculate what you have to calculate? You have to calculate what? Shear force at the center. Okay. Let us draw the shear force diagram. So it is going up by WL by 2. Okay. Now this is of degree. See, shear force. It will be of what? How the diagram will be? It will be like this. And again, it will be going by WL by 2. Is it right? Is the shear force diagram is right? So this will be of positive nature. WL by 2, it is going up, and it will be of negative nature. From here it is going up. So this is at the center. This is what? This is shear force diagram. So at the center, what is the shear force diagram? It is 0. It is what? 0. Okay, if somebody asks you to calculate a bending moment at the center, bending moment at the center, what will be its magnitude? It will be WL by 2 into L by 2 minus WL by 2 into L by 4. So WL square by 4 minus WL square by 8. So it will be how much? It will be WL square by 8. This is the bending moment at the center. It will be maximum. It will be maximum bending moment. Why? Shear force is 0. So bending moment will have either maximum or minimum value. In this case, it will be maximum. What is the magnitude? WL square by 8. So please remember how we are calculating the bending moment. Sometimes they will ask you bending moment. Next, 39. In case of cantilever, irrespective of the type of loading, in case of cantilever, maximum bending moment and maximum shear force occurs at. Okay, so you have to remember, irrespective of loading, whether it's a load at the end or whether it's a uniformly distributed load, irrespective of loading, maximum bending moment and maximum shear force, it will be at fixed end. It will be at fixed end only. Can be loading, can be anything. Okay, but maximum bending moment will be at this point, at fixed end. Next, question number 40. The bending moment on a section is maximum when shear force is. What is the answer? Shear force is 0. This thing we have seen, that dm upon dx will be equal to 0. So dm by dx, it is equal to F. Okay, shear force. Now when m will be maximum or minimum, at that time shear force will be 0. Okay, next. Question number 41. Okay. See here, let us read first the question. So 1, 2, 3, 4 figures are given to you are the bending moment distributions of simply supported beam for some particular shear stress distribution. Which figure is the correct bending moment diagram corresponding to shear stress distribution given below? Okay, so this we have already seen actually. for a case of simply supported beam. See here. So this is how shear stress distribution is given to you, right? So from this, if you want to draw the loading condition, it will be like this. Okay, so for such case, what kind of bending moment we will be having? Triangular shape. We have seen the calculation. It will be of triangular. Okay, so basically this is what? This is for shear stress distribution. This is what? Bending moment. And this is what? Loading. So basically it's a case of what? Simply supported beam. So only they have given you shear stress distribution and they have asked you bending moment, right? So what will be the correct option? It will be which figure? It will be 3, right? So 3 is the correct bending moment distribution. Next, question number 42. A fixed beam. A beam is fixed at one end and free at the other. Load acts in the center now. The maximum bending moment will occur at. We have seen if it's a cantilever beam, whatever may be the loading condition, maximum bending moment, it will be at fixed end only. Okay, no need to check. You can directly take on fixed end. Next, question number 43. The bending moment. It is asked in 2014. Bending moment at the support in case of simply supported beam is. We have seen this. See, if it's a simply supported beam, this is how a bending moment will look. So, what is the value of bending moment at the support? It is what? 0. It is what? 0. Okay. See, same question they are asking in different ways, different ways. Okay. So if your basics are clear, I don't think so you will find any difficulty to answer any question, right? Next. 44, a simply supported beam, 1 meter length, subjected to distributed load of 0.4 Newton per meter. The maximum bending moment occurring in the beam is. So we have seen this maximum. I think it is what? WL square by 8. What is W? 0.4. What is the L? 1 divided by 8. So how much it will be? How much it will be? It will be 0.05 Newton meter. Okay. See, from where I have written WL square by 8, just now we have solved. See, what kind of load is given? It's a simply supported beam. It's a simply supported beam, right? Which is carrying what? Distributed load of 0.4 Newton per meter, and this is 1 meter, right? So we have solved this case and we have found out that the maximum bending moment will be of magnitude WL square by 8. So it will be 0.05. Unit will be Newton meter, right? Next. Question number 45. In case of circular section, the section modulus is given as. In case of circular section, the section modulus is given as. What is section modulus first? Section modulus, it is denoted by what? What is the notation? Z, yes, which is equal to I upon what? Y max. If it's a circular section, what is Y max? Y max is what? D by 2. Now, what is I for such case? Pi by 64 d to the power 4. Pi by 64 d to the power 4 divided by d by 2. So how much you will get? You will get pi by 32 d cube, pi by 32 d cube. Okay, section modulus. And what is the unit? Unit will be mm cube. So sometimes they may ask what is the unit of section modulus, right? Next, question number 46, asked in 2015. The point of contraflexure occurs only in. Okay, see here, point of contraflexure means what? Bending moment changes its sign. Okay, so basically, point of contraflexure, it may occur in simply supported beam as well as in overhanging beam. Okay, so you will not find point of contraflexure at cantilever beam. No. Okay, it will be either in simply supported or overhanging beam. So I think basically both the options are correct. Okay, next, let us see question number 47, asked in 2010. The polar section modulus of a solid circular shaft of diameter d about an axis through its center of gravity is. Okay, so it is similar to that of section modulus. Just now we have seen. So it is what? It's a solid circular shaft of diameter d. So polar section modulus, it is denoted by what? J. Okay, which is equal to what? IZZ divided by d by 2, which is equal to, what is IZZ? It will be pi by 32 d to the power 4 divided by d by 2. See, what is how I am calculating IZZ, which is equal to IXX plus IYY. So this is what? Pi by 64 d to the power 4 plus pi by 64 d to the power 4. So it will be 2 pi by 64 d to the power 4, which is nothing but pi by 32 d to the power 4. And that is what I am taking here. Okay, so what it will be? It will be pi by 16 d cube. Pi by 16 d cube. Okay. So what is the correct answer? Pi by 16 d cube. Option number B. Next, question number 48. The ratio of moment of inertia of a circle to that of square having the same area about their centroidal axes. Okay. Now if both circle and square, they have the same area. What is area of square of side A square? What is the area of circle of diameter D? Pi r square or pi by 4 d square. So what I can write, therefore I can write d by a, which is equal to square root of 4 upon pi. Right. Now what they have asked? They have asked you the ratio of moment of inertia of circle to that of square, which is equal to, what is the moment of inertia of a circle? Pi by 64 d to the power 4 upon, what is moment of inertia of a square? A to the power 4 upon 12, which is equal to, so it will be 12 pi by 64 into d by a to the power 4, which is equal to 3 pi upon 16 into, what is d by a? Square root of 4 upon pi 4 to the power 4. So what it will be? Okay, so if I am calculating this, you will get 3 upon pi. 3 upon pi. Is it right? Okay, yes. So correct answer will be A. Okay, next. 49. So basically it's a assertion reason type of question. Mostly you will find such type of question in ESE. Assertion: the preferred cross section of beam subjected to transverse loading is I section. Reason is given as section modulus of I section is low. Okay, so basically a preferred cross section of beam is subjected to transverse loading is I section because section modulus of I section is what? High. Okay, you have to remember this. Section modulus of I section is what? High. It is not low. Okay, so basically A is true but R is false. A is true but R is false. So last question from this part, that is question number 15. Which cross section of cantilever beam which is loaded with UDL can give economical design? So basically it is what? It is which section? It is I section. It is which section? It is I section. It will be I section. Right? Why? Because moment of resistance, okay, moment of resistance which depends on section modulus, right? So it will be maximum for I section. That's why you will get economical design in case of I section. So correct answer will be C, that is I section. Okay, so basically economical design, it depends on what is the section modulus or what is moment of resistance. Okay, how good, how stiff that section is to carry the load. Okay, so this is all about question number 21 to 15. We have seen the explanation for each question. So hope you have understood this. And in the next part, we will solve the question number 51 onwards. Till then, thank you and please do share and like my YouTube channel, and please don't forget to share with your friends. Thank you.